I sometimes really enter office and pinch myself. I'm like, wow, holy shit. You know, so many people work with me and they show up every day inspired. Sometimes in self-doubt, I would call Karan for advice and I'd be like, there's brain smashing and there are eyes popping, and he's like, go full out. आज मेरा दिन कैसा जा रहा है? आज मैंने अपना best दिया towards a script that I'm working on or towards a release I'm working on. Today I gave it my best. This is success.
Guneet, welcome to Film Companion.
Thank you.
And welcome to TIFF. What an incredible festival you're having. 2 films
Yes.
premiering here.
Yes, this is my 16 films. I mark the point of having 16 films at festival at
Wow.
Toronto. So it's beautiful. I have 2 films this year. One I've produced with Dharma Productions called Kill, and the other is a co-production with a Jordanian producer Nadia called The Yellow Bus.
Yes. I had the
Yes.
pleasure of watching both of them.
Oh, wow.
And they were just such, I mean, Kill was just this relentless ride. Oh my God, I
Yes.
was not prepared for what I was going in for. But I'm curious to know what it was like. For me to just see the Sikya logo after the was just like an incredible moment.
Yeah.
What really brought your 2 worlds together?
Oh, this happened a decade ago actually, during Lunchbox.
No
When Karan presented, when Dharma came on board to present Lunchbox, it was amazing because I tried to sell Lunchbox before its premiere at Cannes, but there was no buyer for it. And then at Cannes, Karan was with Bombay Talkies, the 4 films marking 100 years of Indian cinema a decade ago. And that's when I reached out to him. I gate crashed. I crashed his dinner table and I was like, hi, this is Guneet Monga. I work with Anurag. I had produced Murabba, and that year I had Lunchbox and Monsoon Shootout at the festival. I was like, I'd just love to speak to you about, a love story, and we have kind of sold the whole world minus India. And that's when Karan came, and Karan said, okay, sure, show it to me. Here is my phone number. And we came back to India. We had a screening at the Lightbox for him, and he came out and he just coined a line. He had tears in his eyes and he said, this is a beautiful love story, and it's and it is, have you ever fallen in love with somebody you've never met? And he said it there, and then he was like, let's do it. And that was the first time when logos came together.
Wow.
So a decade later, we are here for another eclectic film, again first for its kind in India.
Yeah.
A genre defining film, a genre mad action film, non-stop, relentless
Yes.
actioner, never happened before. Pretty much the most
And
violent
so
film.
far removed from what the both of you guys do as
Yes.
production houses. So what really was that meeting point for you when the script came about?
I mean, as producers, I think you can be genre agnostic, So as producers, you can dabble into so many worlds. So when Nikhil and I know each other for a long time. In fact, Nikhil was an executive at the financing studio of Lunchbox.
Wow.
Very interesting thing. It was Nikhil and Om Rawat.
Wow.
So 2 people I made friends with who were on the other side, and who read the script and who were advising the funding studio, which was then Dar Media, to put the first round of money in Lunchbox. So I know Nikhil for a long time, and he went on to, of course, also to make a few films that were more drama,
No, you very often said that a story never fails you, a budget does.
Yes.
And here you're working also with a very shrewd and sharp businessman in Karan Johar. What's like a lesson you've possibly learned from him that you'll hold on to?
I think all the business sense, of course, it's Apurva and my partner Achin, and we all have that business sense because we work in 100% equity business, right? Every film in India needs to recover its money back, and it's either funded by a studio, an individual, or however, but it's 100% equity. The nature of the money is equity. So I actually in Karan see a cinephile, and I have collaborated with a cinephile who has given us complete freedom and complete faith to lean into the genre, to go into the gore, to actually make a film which has so much blood, you know, which is not something that even Dharma has done or Sikya has done before. But sometimes in self-doubt, I would call Karan for advice and I'd be like, there's brain smashing and there are eyes popping, and he's like, go full out. We signed up for it. Go full out, you know, make it the blood porn that you have committed it to.
That's what it is.
So for me, it's been absolute faith, and I say this to both of them, Karan and Apurva, that you know it was beautiful to collaborate with a cinephile who's seen the genre, who allowed this to happen, and you know was just like, let's do it, let's go all the way, and that's how we were here in Midnight Madness.
Yeah, no, and you're also proof that really no conversation or no piece of networking ever goes to waste, because that's how long it takes, but it always finally does happen. But you've also said that you don't go chasing a story chases you. But as you get more sort of popular as a producer, how do you make sure you're still always listening?
It is, you have to always lean into your instinct. You have to build your instinct in this business. I think, you know, from childhood you're told aise karo, you know, you have a certain conditioning, you have a certain parenting. But this particular business of arts, of creative, is purely instinct, of being aware, of building knowledge. Like what I take back from Toronto will be different from what you take back from Toronto. You know, the films that I have experienced, the impression and the life memories that I will have here will be different for each one of us. And I'll go back and be like, ऐसा कुछ करना है यार, you know, हमारी देश में, हमारी country में. So I've had that exposure and I've wanted to do that. And it's beautiful when you actually find a collaborator with muscle, with power, with distribution power, you know, and that is where magic happens. Because I feel ideas are free, you know, and ideas are everywhere. The magic lies in execution, you know, and the impact lies in distribution. You know, you can still create magic. You can still be like, I made the best film. But what if nobody saw it? You know, what if it did not even get the right distribution or the right celebration or the right money behind the P&A, you know?
What would it feel like to finally have budgets?
Oh, I think we made this at a great number. But what feels beautiful is a sense of being empowered.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about the number, it's about the faith. It's about, you know, Nikhil and Laksh, Raghav, Achin, me, the whole team first time entered action genre, which is expensive because in action you have to do camera rehearsals, you know, even before, like it's like a choreography, and you have your full team doing the full set being made, and you have your set design and prosthetics and camera and everything to come together for that one day of shoot. So there is insane amount of prep, and there is insane amount. So it is definitely it's not cheap to make an action film, but
and to make it well.
And to make it well, yes. And we had Mr. O, who's one of the choreographers of Snowpiercer, a Korean choreographer in India. So you know, we were able to tap into the best in the world and bring them to India to be able to take this to a market which has never seen this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, you talked about instinct, and I want to go back to that a little bit. How do you just mute the rest of the world and just stay true to the instinct when the noise gets really loud around you?
I think there's a deep sense of spirituality, and there is a deep sense of gratitude I live in, I thrive in. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for, I don't take any of it for granted. You know, everybody that I have to meet, everything that I have to do, I almost feel like I need to do this so that I feel like I've done my bit, which is I've given the best to any piece of content. You know, so I'm very hard on myself, trying to give the best, trying to constantly push to find the audiences, to find, because there is something out there and we are running in fog. You know, we don't know who's the buyer, but you're just constantly, and somewhere in that effort magic happens. And that comes from a deep rooted sense of gratefulness and spirituality. Like, you know, if I can wake up being, feeling empowered today, I feel like I'm successful. It is not with box office, it is not with bank balance. I've never had those. But for me, it comes with my own motivation of feeling empowered today. आज मेरा दिन कैसा जा रहा है, आज मैंने अपना बेस्ट दिया towards a script that I'm working on, or towards a release I'm working on, towards a film that is working on, towards a project we are thinking about. Today I gave it my best, this is success. So it's been one day at a time, and somewhere in that hustle magic happens. You know, you find the right partner, you find the right amplifier, and as a producer, you hope that you've been able to expand the footprint of what it would have been otherwise without me. What was my value add in the project? So I'm very grateful to directors that choose to collaborate with Sikya, that choose us as producers. We work together. It's long format, and then you hope that this will find its right space under the sun, and you work on it every day. You know, so yeah.
Speaking of right space under the sun, what an incredible TIFF women in Indian
Yes.
film are having. There's Riya Kapoor with her
Yes.
film, there's you, there's Kiran Rao. And not too long ago, you talked about a time where you would sort of text ideas to your male colleagues under the table to pitch an idea for you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be heard?
Beautiful. It feels beautiful to be heard, and it also feels beautiful to be a partner, to be here with a partner like Karan and Dharma, who treat you as an equal, you know, who treat you as who celebrate you as much as, you know. So all that is so beautiful, and here there is generosity of sharing. Last 3 days have been press tour with Karan and putting the film out there, and talking about it to so many new people, you know, and finding our magic in between of, you know, putting kill out there, and doing these interviews. But it's beautiful to be here with a partner who celebrates you and allows you that space and be like, yes, shine, you know.
I'm here watching.
I'm here, and you know, go for it. I'm right behind, stable, secure, and you shine. So that is something that I deeply experienced, and you know, it's beautiful that you asked me that, because I don't know if I'm articulating it well, but it feels really, really beautiful to be celebrated, to and to be pushed ahead and say, you go for it, you know. It's beautiful.
And well deserved. In fact, the last time we met was at Cannes when you were walking as part of India's delegation.
Yes.
Little bit after the Oscar win.
Yes.
How has life changed since then? Have you been able to take some steps back and really process the magnitude of what went down there?
There is definitely a certain shift that happened post Oscars in my brain. I, for some reason, now think about legacy. I spend some time thinking about what is it that we are leaving behind. You know, I feel like we came into this earth, like I have had really deep, those singular, you know, when you go so deep in your thought alone with no noise, and you're like, okay, you came into this earth with breath and no name, and you will leave this earth with a name and no breath. You know, and what is that name worth? Like, generations will join dots on projects I've been part of, and will maybe think that, you know, I tried to do something, you know, and that is legacy, and that is what you leave behind. It matters to me what we put out there, and I think about it. Yeah.
Did the Oscar win change how Sikya makes movies? Did anything get easier?
It definitely opened many, many doors, nationally and internationally. It opened some incredible doors internationally. And now it's our journey on projects we take in, and how we package it, how we put together, how we produce them. But yes, I think every day trying to tell Indian stories for rest of the world has been a motto for Sikya. And all this exposure adds on to that journey.
Yeah. You started off really young. I want to ask you, what is a piece of advice or perhaps a mistake that you feel you made that you can save like a generation of young female producers from?
A piece of advice is start where you can with what you can. You don't have to wait for somebody's approval. That's something that I am a living example of. And having produced 35 plus movies, 100 plus shorts, documentaries, there's always so much to do. So, you know, there's always so, keep your tribe close to you. I think the only regret I have is that I was unable to release Peddlers. It felt like, you know, it was a group of friends who made this movie on their own. I crowdfunded it. And the team, of course, Vasan the director, Siddharth the DOP, Prerna the editor, you know, so it was all of us. It's like it's a project that's very close to us creatively, and then selling it to a studio that chose not to release it. Uh, there's no words to comprehend that heartbreak, and not having the money to buy it back, the helplessness of that, you know, and as a working professional, you just never gather that chunk of money that they maybe paid you for marketing at Cannes, you know. So we went to Cannes, that was our achievement. And then to rewire your brain that okay, this is something that has happened, and or to curse yourself every day that what if I didn't sell it to them, what if I, you know, did something better, what if we were able to, you know, get it out of them. So that is a regret I have, but I think forgiving yourself early is needed, to not be so hard, to not have so many layers of judgment on your own self. No one's asked you for that. To be even stronger in paperwork, you know, to be even stronger in legal and paperwork, and as a professional, to have your CA and your lawyer close, and to have global standards in the smallest of things you do is important to acknowledge and to know, and you're in business to be able to do that well. So yeah, I think about it very often.
Yeah. You also said, it was actually really beautiful when you said that losing your parents early on made you really fearless.
Yes.
I want to ask you, what did finding your husband do for you?
It gave me a lot of peace. It gave me a lot of stability. Like I feel my energy's changed.
Really?
I feel like my uh, it's beautiful. He's here with me.
Such a
he
cheerleader. He's
he
always around.
he and today morning I was asking him. I said, you know, there's so much work that you have to do, and he was there for a month for the Oscars.
Yes. He
I
was at
think
Cannes.
He was at Cannes. And
You
I
do
was like,
hold your tribe close.
and yes, I try to. And I think they also are very kind to make time for me and my needs and prioritize them, which is a rarity, which is beautiful in Sunny. I'm very grateful for that partnership and that love. It's given me a lot of peace, a lot of stability emotionally, and it feels like I'm home. And it's a new feeling after I lost my parents 15, 16 years ago, been in Bombay working for 15, 16 years, and now it finally feels I'm home.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And in this really like heartfelt note that you wrote for your parents in heaven, you said that you're done living for that one day, which is
Yeah.
what so many of us are taught to do.
Yeah.
Grow up sort of living by. What are you most grateful for in this moment? What are you most proud of yourself for right now?
I'm proud of the team at Sikya. I'm proud of each and everybody. I pinch myself that such incredible people work with me. I'm just like, wow, you know. I'm proud of the space we created for each other to shine and grow. I sometimes really enter office and pinch myself. I'm like, wow, holy shit. You know, so many people work with me and they show up every day inspired and pushing forward. And it's not ideal. It's not the biggest paycheck in the industry, but
Its heart is in the right place.
it's hard in the right place, and everybody is around for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You know, it's many years of togetherness and faith that I'm very, very proud to be able to nurture, create that space. It's out of dreams.
You obviously know you're doing something right because
Thank
it's a
you.
very happy place.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for chatting with me and have a
Thank you.
great festival.
Thank you. You too. Thank you,
Thank you
Sneha.
so much.
Bye.